All right, guys, welcome back to the Tactical Perspective, part 3 of our Dragonfly figure review on the G.I. Joe Classified line. The figures that were included with this set, we are doing number 144, International Woman of Mystery, Glenda. Jane Mullighan. There's so many questions I have about this particular character. This, of course, being the tier unlock for the Dragonfly that used the Scarlet Buck before Scarlet got to use it in the retro line. This character is an enigma wrapped in a riddle, formed in a conundrum in a vacuum of questions. I'm going to try and address some of them as I go. But she is, of course, like I said, number 144 in the line. Jane Glenda Mullighan. There's another question. There's her primary combat functions right off the side. Now you'll notice she's not Night Force, nor is she really Joe. She is Commando Heroics, of course, which is the Spanish line. And her file card, if you'll see, it's very hard to find. I've seen people who have made their own, and I think they're translating it from the Spanish in which it's found, but you'll see the file card is up there. I'll give you an overview as best as I can, but she is kind of an exception to my file card review on the Tactical Perspective and how I'm going to go about that. But always good to get more reflection of other Joe properties in the line, especially when people say, Classified will be dead soon. Well, if you think they're going to draw on the traditional source space, I guess you could say they've got a shelf life, and it's not that long, right? But if you see it, how they are approaching and all the broad spectrums, not just introducing new characters, but visiting other countries and what their interpretations were of other characters and working that into the line. So a pretty interesting character, and we're going to talk about her on the Tactical Perspective for sure. But carrying on with that box art, you got that big portrait. There's your primary combat functions again. Again, no tape on these because they're coming direct as part of the HasLab, right? Jane Mullighan, Jane Glenda Mullighan, all the art. There's your little HasLab nod that you got it from a HasLab, number 144. And there's your nod to the graphics that it is the Dragonfly HasLab that you got it with. Good for you. All right, guys, we're going to jump into El File Card to Glenda. And we're going to have some talk about how this character has come about and what we think of her here at the Crow. All right? All right, guys, so there we have Jane Glenda Mullighan, intelligence agent from the Commandos Heroics line, the Argentinian or Mexican-based approach to G.I. Joe. And we were familiar with these kind of things. We know that other nationalities have their own tributes to Joe. Look at England and others, right? So it's kind of interesting. Like I said before, this kind of opens up what Classified can do to extend its life beyond making up new characters or pulling ones out of the Skybound Entertainment Group and what they designed. You can actually go back and pull characters almost out of obscurity that this continent may not have been tracking. Of course, this is an interesting file card to read. It's not one I've been familiar with, but it does kind of make sense in how they're describing Jane Mullighan from borrowing her from the U.S. properties, right? So let's look into that file card. Here we go. So our counterintelligence Glenda, which is a code name. Her actual name for files purposes is Jane Mullighan, but she also has an alias in this file card. Apparently is Shanna M. O'Hare, which we know is Scarlet. Her primary military specialty would be intelligence secondary as pilot, and she's born from Mendoza, Argentina. And again, like I said, I think somebody translated this card from the Spanish. I'm not sure, but this is just a reference. I don't even remember where I pulled this one off of Google, but here's what it says. It says, as a 6-year-old child, she amazed all her hometown inhabitants when she skillfully flew one of their most sophisticated helicopters under her father's supervision. When her father heroically died, Glenda swore to continue fighting on for his noble cause. Today, she is an air intelligence officer and a helicopter co-pilot in high-risk missions. She is the first woman to ever become a master instructor of heroic commando, the Argent 7, Argentina's elite counterterrorism force that works alongside G.I. Joe. And it says, beauty may only be skin deep, but lethal goes to the bone. All right, so I'm not quite sure how these file cards come together for a character like Glenda when the whole thing was originally conceptualized in Spanish, right? So That's the file card, guys. Let's have a look at some of these head-to-toe features, okay? So, you know, if you had looked on just at the photos when they did the drops, I had the wrong impression of Glenda's facial features. I thought she looked very haggard. And the box here didn't do me much to change that. But it's not that she looks haggard. She looks very dissatisfied. I would almost say she's just unimpressed looking, like almost depressed about it. There's just almost a sadness in her face that I haven't seen with other characters. I think the closest we got to it may have been Coral. But this is not somebody who's angry, nor cocky, nor anything. It's not that they're indifferent. There's just something going on behind those eyes. But she's also got, you know, some choices of hair we can pop on and off, just like we are used to with our G.I. Joe classified line, females and males. I think a shipwreck there. You know, different kind of hairs with different kind of coif, style, things like that. And of course, you've got the headset, which is very important for a pilot to have comms, right? So, flop that. Do I have that on the right way? We'll get that on there. There you are, the headset. And then, lastly, she's got her flight helmet, which I think probably could be forced over with her hair. But, you know, you can just do it this way, too. And no hair under there. Why would you need it? You know, but it does seem a little loose that way. So I do think it was designed to have hair showing under there. But these are the different heights, different styles. Of course, you've got the Commandos Heroicos on there, written on there. And it's a very similar flight helmet to what we're used to, but no flip-up visors or anything like that. It's its own thing. It's very stylized for a smaller head, like a female head. Here, we'll put these headsets back on there. Just leave her as such. Okay, when you get her out of the box, you know, you're going to notice right away, this is the Retro Scarlet buck. There's been enough discussion about that, and of course, Coral has also used this buck to good effect, if you ask me. I think that it's a fine buck, but of course, we've got everything we reviewed on the Retro Scarlet, the pinless elbows and knees, good flex articulation, but a little bit of balance due to skinny feet and things like that. But I noticed that her heaviness with her kit kind of helps her balance a little bit better. Of course, on the left arm, you've got your shurikens there on the white glove, and then her Derringer, because Scarlet Hero Club, right? Switchable hands, you know, closed fist or open. That's what you're getting with there. And then, of course, her service pistol, just a standard Browning 9mm type, which, you know, goes in there. Holster your own weapon. There you go. Now, what we do also get, which was detached when I unpacked it and I had to put it on, was her 6-point harness, 6 or 5-point harness. Anyways, it's her rappelling harness, her fast line off the helicopter. You can see the hook. This, of course, is so that she could be hooked onto the winch of the Dragonfly, lured to rescue or insert or whatever. It's a very interesting system, designed to be just nothing but pull tabs to tighten and whatnot. And you can see that the way that this is designed, it's not just exclusively going to be usable for Glenda. It'll be usable for a lot of characters throughout. All these tabs pull down. If you wanted to take it off, it's not a problem. You don't have to do anything to pull your figure apart. It all comes apart sectionally. You can fold it off, slip these off, take the belt, you know, off completely, do all that, and then throw this all back onto another figure and slip all those pieces with relative ease back through their respective loops and lather, rinse, repeat, right? It's a pretty neat little harness. I wish there was a bit more color to it. It kind of gets lost in being a black blob of kind of cool design. I hope that if we see this again, they'll leather that up, or maybe put some Night Force colors or something. Just give us a little bit of color to break this up, besides just that one steel ring. I thought it was a great little vest. I was really impressed with it. Same as the headset, I was really impressed with that. I should mention her look down and up is just as limited as everybody else out there. And the white collar, I think, is the difference here that they've added to this overall. But I'm not going to harp on the buck too much, because we've done 2 reviews on this buck, and we did it with Coral and we did it with Retro Scarlet. And I've already said I do like the buck. I understand the balance issues. What I would say about this one is I think This just some of the weight that the kit she's carrying helps balance that a little bit. All right, I purposely left out her last piece of kit. Of course, it's the laser rifle set that we are going to see with Flash when he comes to the line. Finally, there's your Flash laser rifle. And of course, that's going to connect to this backpack and hose assembly, whichever way's up on there. There is a female receiver end at the top of the rifle for which the male end connector is supposed to go in as such, right? And I find it's not the best fit. It's fine when there's no tension on it. It'll seat, no problems. But in order to get it on her back, I've got to take the whole harness off, which I'll do now. And quickly, I'll just show you the whole harness coming off of her so we can put the backpack on there. We'll just undo a couple of straps there, slip that over her head, no problem, undo one belt, and the whole thing comes off, and I can put that on someone else. I needed to take that off because this whole assembly right here actually obstructs from putting the backpack on. So if we put the backpack on her now, let's see which way is up on this one. I think it's that way. No, that way. There we go. So we've got that up. We've got the cable turned. Let's put the laser rifle. Now, all I could suggest with this one, sorry guys, not best shots on this one. All I could suggest in this is that if you want to keep the cable connected, consider feeding it under her arm and then back up and in, not over her shoulder. That'll allow her armpit and the brace of her arm position to hold it into place. But there you go. You've got Flash's laser rifle on there and his backpack. And again, I feel like, you know, cool that they included it. Great, no problems. But yeah, it doesn't seat the finest. I'll tell you that. That tension really, there you can see it popped out, right? So just tension issues with that, no problem. Seating issues with that. That'll just take a little bit of finessing. I'm not even sure I have that the right way. I don't right there. There we go. So just some finesse issues with the flash pack that isn't promising for me. I don't think it was a good ad for Glenda. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. I don't know, guys. Anyways, I don't feel like it was a great ad for Glenda. And I feel like it was kind of a hard hit to see no color for sci-fi weaponry and, you know, technical backpacks that should have like some light buttons and colors, maybe some brushed steel here and there, maybe a different color for the cabling. Like, this is tech. It's not all going to be black. And what's the point of having all black kit when you're wearing blue and white, right? Like she is. So, I just felt like it was an effort to try and impress people with, hey, look at this new rifle. You're going to see that with Flash. Get excited. And it was just, you know, she doesn't even know how to hold it properly, it feels like. So, not overly impressed with that per se, but I do like the buck. I love the head features. I love the options and the harness. I just wish they had done more artistically with this figure because I really respect the fact that they brought her in from the Spanish properties of G.I. Joe, but I hate the fact that they couldn't even spring to give her something in a modernized version where she is not just so clearly Scarlet knockoff. I felt like there was very little character development with Jane Mullighan that I'm seeing off this. It's quietly accepted that this is Scarlet with blonde hair, Scarlet with lots of hair, Scarlet with a helmet, Scarlet with a laser gun. But the Shurikens and the Derringer is just something that I've gotten too used to, and I would have liked to have seen that changed. All right, let's go give this a play grade, attack grade, and a je ne sais quoi grade and get out of here. We'll start now with the play grade for Glenda. You can't go wrong with this figure as far as play grade goes. They give you a lot of stuff to work with, be it extra hair options or headset or helmet, be it extra hand options, closed fist or open. She comes with a sidearm. She comes with a laser rifle. She comes with an extra harness on top of the harness she's already sporting. There's a lot of play factor. Did I mention she comes with a HasLab helicopter? Hey, we're going to leave that out there because technically we counted that for Wild Bill, but it's there for her. You know, technically they should all get 5s on that one. But lots of play factor here in this figure. Now, The problem being is that laser rifles got a little bit of connectivity issues, much like Scarlet's crossbow. But overall, the play factor here, I'm going to give her a solid 4.5. On the tack factor, the tactical sensibility of this character is it's there. You know, she's got the helicopter pilot. She's got the harnesses. She definitely serves as air crew. The blue and the white is a choice. It's a theme. It's a, you know, it is the Commandos heroics colors, I guess. I can't really rip on her for the tack, but the laser rifle is kind of a weird choice. But it's, you know, we see that in the past she's carried stuff, but she could have gotten the crossbow, so I'm going to bless her for that. I'm going to say she gets a 4 for tack for what she is, and what she is where the je ne sais quoi grade comes in, and I've got issues. I still don't feel much for this character and her identity. I don't feel like they really clarified much about her with this character, aside from she's a Scarlet repaint, and yeah, hey, at least you're not getting the crossbow. But I feel they did an exceptional job with all the kit. So I'm going to give her a je ne sais quoi factor of a 4 and just make it a constant 4 across the board. She is also not my favorite one in the set, and actually I like her only a bit better than Ripcord, but the intent of her kit, the cross-compatibility with other figures for that harness, the laser rifle, it all can go somewhere. I've got to respect it. So she gets a 4s across the board pretty much, guys. And that's going to do it. Our next tactical perspective will be on the last remaining one, my favorite in the set. Or is it Wild Bill? It's Crazy Legs we're doing next. So make sure you come back. Thanks for watching. Thanks for liking, share, subscribe, and participate in the comments, and we'll see you soon. Video.